can take your seats or grab a seat, find a good place to stand, grab your drinks. 1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute.
Good evening, Sugarbush. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 6th annual Sugarbush Wall of Fame. Sounds right. This event started in 2018 as part of our 60th anniversary. Oh, it might be 7th anniversary. Well, we didn't skip one. We skipped it here. As part of our 60th anniversary to start really recognizing members of the community, staff, guests, people who really make Sugarbush special. The criteria that the Wall of Fame Committee often uses for this, to join the Wall of Fame, is people need to be cultivating a spirit of lifelong adventure and camaraderie. And I think, given the size of the crowd here tonight, we know that the 3 inductees tonight are absolutely living up to that criteria.
Yes, looking around, there's so many familiar faces, young and old, and the Wall of Fame, I mean, it's in your heart because you see the community that's brought together to honor the people that are here, from skiing to restaurants to the community, and it's just such a special night, and I'm always just so happy to be a part of it.
part of the inaugural induction class. And there are many inductees with us tonight, which is awesome. Thank you all for coming out. So, just a quick format. This typically runs about an hour. We have 3 inductees to welcome into the Wall of Fame. We have a video for each of them. We have some guest speakers who are going to come up and say some words. Many of you already found the bar. Nice work. There are some snacks back there in the corner. And then when this ends, we're going to be sliding those doors open and we'll be celebrating the Sugarbush, which is our big birthday celebration every year with the talking dreads. Some cool lights going on back there. It's a great time if you're looking to keep the party rolling.
Yes, and there's a holiday sweater party, so if you have your holiday sweater, your best sweater, come on in. There's raffles and
Who your daughter won last year?
Yes, Dee Dee won last year, and she has another sweater, which is exciting. But the Wall of Fame to me is the most exciting event of the year, and out of all my skiing accolades that I did, I was a professional skier for over 20 years, traveled the world, did so many things. The Wall of Fame, getting inducted to it, was the most special award that I ever received. And when I stand here and I look around, you just feel the heart and soul of Sugarbush. I grew up skiing with my mom, who was friends with so many people out here, and now I'm a mom skiing with my daughter. My husband's on the patrol, and it just kind of is this circle of life, and that's Sugarbush. So tonight, having everyone here and honoring these 3 amazing people that have the same spirit for Sugarbush, I don't know, it feels like an honor every year.
Shall we get to inducting some people?
Yeah.
So we are starting the night off with someone that I think many of us know, many of us worked with, including myself. He was here when I first started here. We often joked with each other that we were both just another John from Sugarbush. There were many of us at that time, and there still are. And we're talking about John Parsons. We're going to play a video for JP, and we're going to welcome up Siobhan. But I will say, I think JP was a real mainstay for a number of people at this resort, both employees and guests, because he was so guest-facing, right? He worked at both the golf course in the summer, working his way up to a manager there, as well as in lift ops here. And so it was really hard to have an experience at Sugarbush and not engage with JP in one way or another. And he was kind of the consummate professional as far as providing a good guest experience, getting things done, always being willing to do things, and that means a lot coming from a guy in PR and communications who can be pretty annoying when it comes to people in mountain operations when we try to do goofy things. I have a letter that we'll read at the end of this from Win Smith, our former owner, who wasn't able to make it here tonight, but does have some nice words to say about everyone. But I will sort of tease that out by saying we were lucky enough to be able to let John know that he was joining the Wall of Fame prior to his passing. And I know that meant a lot to him and Siobhan and to Win, who was able to tell him. So we're going to roll the video and then we will welcome Siobhan up. Sound check. I get to stall for a minute as we fix the sound. So I know that Roger King's going to also be coming up here. Roger worked with John for a long time. He's going to say some words, and then I know Brian Farley wants to get up here and say a couple things as well about JP. So we're going to have a lot of good things to say about JP.
No, JP was amazing. Every day that I would go to the mountain, I always look forward to seeing his smiling face, and I'd see him at the lift, or you'd see him in the cafeteria, wherever I saw him. He was never in one spot. And we'd just sit and we would just talk about anything, the skiing, the day, just anything that was happening in life. And it was just a special time every day that I saw him. And it always put a smile on my face, knowing that he was just was a part of Sugarbush. Every time you saw JP, you're like, he is Sugarbush. And so this is a really special time, and I'm so happy we had a chance to tell the family and tell him before his passing, because it really meant the world to him, as it means the world to Sugarbush to be able to do this.
We get to do it on the fly. We will run a slideshow of photos of JP, and then we will welcome Siobhan now. That one's from the King Challenge. I would also say, JP, naturally, because he was working at Lift Ops, and we had a lot of international employees in that department, really became a mentor to a lot of these students who came to Sugarbush, obviously from a completely different culture, and as they adjusted, many of them worked for JP, and I know many of them really looked at him as an inspiration and a mentor, and just someone they could really trust as they were adjusting to life at Sugarbush.
And I was just speaking with someone over next to the bar, and they were saying how special it was that JP embraced everyone that came from all over the place, and it didn't matter their job, their title. He always gave them a chance and kind of taught them to, hey, give them a chance and let them move up and educate them like, you can do it, and was so supportive with people that normally you just kind of, here's your job, because he cared so much.
How about we give it up for JP before we bring it to Siobhan? Siobhan, would you like to come up?
So I want to say thank you to everyone for coming tonight and celebrating these special three people. One of them I happen to know really well. John, or JP, as most of you know him as. He truly loved every minute he spent here at Sugarbush. Being part of this group for so many years allowed him to develop into the man that he became. The relationships he grew both outside on the mountain and at the golf course were some of the most meaningful in his life. I feel like, and I'm sure that many of you feel the same way, that John was a real ambassador for this place, as he represented it and represented what it looked like to be here and to put the needs of others before his. Always ready to lend a helping hand regardless of what the issues were, always choosing to do the right thing. I also want to recognize the impact that Win Smith had on John. John had a deep respect for Win and admiration, and was so grateful for the visit that Win paid to John at our house. To tell him that he was being inducted into the Wall of Fame, and that really did mean the world to him. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that voted for him as well. And I'm really happy to see everyone. And he will be missed, but I'm sure remembered in the best of ways by all of you here. So thank you.
I have one. Thank you, John. Siobhan, well done. That was awesome. Thank you so much. I did write it down and I did time it. Because I was told I had 3 to 5. Because with John, I probably could have gone 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Of course, some of those stories couldn't be told in this room. So that took it down from 30 minutes to 5. So So, once again, it's an honor to be here. I'm Roger King, the head golf professional at the resort, and a longtime friend of John Parsons. I always laugh, like, I can talk golf in front of 300 people all day long, but you be talking about my friends and cancer, and I've become this. So, I apologize in advance. Oh. But that being said, what a good man John Parsons was. In 2003, I was a head golf professional at another facility, and I needed someone to help me take that facility to the next level. And little did I know that that moment when John walked through the door was going to change my life. John came through for his interview, and he and I hit it off from the second he walked in. It could be because we're both volubly challenged. Someone said to me earlier that they've never seen a picture with John Parsons with hair. I've been to John's parents' homes when they passed away. There were no pictures of John Parsons at his parents' home with hair. So I don't know what to say about that, but I can't throw stones, right? But so John walked through, and as I said, we hit it off. And we worked together for 4 years at that facility. But more importantly, we became best friends. We played golf, we had a wonderful time, and we made lasting memories, which I'm sure a lot of people in this room can agree, right? John left lasting memories. That same winter, because when I hired him and we worked together, he came back to Vermont. And one thing I'll say is before he passed, he said to me, he goes, "Thank you for getting me back to Vermont." And that actually probably meant more to me because of the way John said it. Because it truly meant the world to him. And part of that is through that, he came and started working at Sugarbush that winter. And through the next 22 years, which is how long John worked here, he showed his passion for the winter, his passion for skiing. But most importantly, and I'll say this, and Siobhan said it as well, he showed passion for the employees. He showed passion for Sugarbush. He showed passion. And through that, anyone that crossed paths with John, they were treated with respect. They were treated with laughter. And what made us friends is he treated people with sarcasm. Yeah, you guys know. Yeah, exactly. But that being said, whether it was summer, whether it was winter, he loved his job, he loved the resort, he loved the guests, and he loved his coworkers. And that says a lot about the man that John Parsons is, right? But very importantly, over the past year, through his health battle, first off, no one was more positive than John Parsons through this. From the second he was diagnosed to the day he passed, he was a fighter, and Mr. Positive. And we can all learn a lot from that. But over the past year, we all learned how much the people love John, how much they love Siobhan, his partner of 16 years. I met Siobhan at my wedding, and it was a beautiful introduction. John loved you, Siobhan, and until the day passed. So, but the support shown to them by this community, what a great community that the Sugarbush community is. The community showed him such support through his battle. It just shows how much his presence, how much his positivity, and how much his strength meant to others. He talked often about getting the strength back to win his 6th club championship. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool, right? And he truly felt that if he could get his strength back, he was going to win that 6th championship. And I'm not going to lie to you, he probably would have. John was that good. Like I said, we played a lot of golf together. But he also wanted to get his strength back to come and work at the resort because he truly enjoyed every day that he was here, for the most part. But he was really special to so many, and I can see it in the room. So finally, if you've had the pleasure of talking to John for a minute, an hour, whatever, you heard many of his phrases. And I affectionately, a lot of people affectionately call them parsonisms. Exactly, right. So I just got a couple of my favorites. And obviously the great thing about it is I texted some of his friends, and first off, there were so many, and once again, there were so many that I could not put into a speech. But I love it. So, as you know, John and I played golf together, so get ready for this. All right. When it's breezy, swing easy. And so John was lucky enough to get his amateur status back, and he was going to start playing tournaments, right? And his great response was, I'm not going down there to finish second. And as you know, in Vermont, the cell phone service around isn't wonderful. And so he'd be working in the shop, and somebody would call, and the service wouldn't be great. And he'd politely say, please call me when you have service. And he'd hang up, and then he'd look at you and go, if you don't have the bars, don't make the call. Exactly. And, John was a great player, but he and I are not known for our ball striking. We're known for our scores. And so our statement was always, if it's not how, it's how many. As you know, John loved the weather. He loved his weather apps. And the second it started sprinkling, John would say, shut it down. I'm getting there. There's some good ones here. And first off, as you can see, my wife dressed me tonight. And it was in honor of John. Yeah, exactly, right. In honor of John, because you got to look good to play good. All right? Oh, this is a good one. So, John, sometimes I'd hey, John, sorry this happened, sorry that happened. He'd go like this. He'd go, Roger, this is my concern face. And those of you that have played golf, if you get a hole in one, the tradition is that you buy a drink for everyone that's playing golf. So you play golf with John, and if someone hit a good shot, he was going right at the flag. Out of nowhere, you'd hear, and I apologize if there's any Lawson's people in this room, so don't hold it against me. I didn't say it. But John would go, if he hit a good shot, was going right at the flag, John would go, I drink Long Trail. And I was lucky enough to see John Parsons make a couple hole-in-ones over our career. So, and now that I think about it, I don't think he bought me any drinks there. Siobhan, we got to talk. But if no one made a hole-in-one and you were sitting at the 19th hole having a few libations, and if somebody would ask, whose turn is it to buy, John would always say, if you ask whose turn it is to buy, it's probably yours. Exactly, right? And this is my personal favorite, and it means a lot. So John and I once played a lot of golf together. At the end of the day, before we'd go play, one of us would leave, and I'll be like, hey, John, see you tomorrow. And he'd go, Roger, I'll see you tomorrow. And if it's not fun, it's going to be funny. That's right. I love it. So do me a favor, if you have a glass, please raise it up, because I want to toast a great man, a great friend, a great partner, and now, as he was before, a Sugarbush legend, John Parsons. Thank you very much for putting up with me. And
Those were amazing stories, and they bring tears to the eyes, but joy to your mind. And next we have a very special person for Sugarbush. She's been teaching here for over 30 years. How many? 45.
That's over 30.
Pate Weston, over here. Super exciting. I'm so happy to be up here to be able to talk about it. Pate is just such an amazing skier. She was part of the center ski movement back in the 80s. And in the 80s, when there weren't a lot of women that were teaching skiing. Well, Pate was there and got her PSIA level 3, right? Is that true? PSIA level 3. Yes, instructor, yes. And when she was working under Siggy, where all the women, and correct me if any of these stories are wrong, because I had to dig, the women had the opportunity to teach the children. Well, Pate and one other person, they were able to teach the adults. So in a world where it was male-dominated, Pate, she owned it. She ran it. And I was lucky enough to coach the women's clinic a couple years with her. And I was admiring the way that she taught. She was humble. She was so technical. When she teaches, it's just, any little movement, she's like, no, you gotta just turn it in a little bit. I mean, things that you have to be a really good skier and to notice. And she was technical, but she was confident, and she made you feel like a superstar. She made you feel good because skiing, that's what she does, and she has an eye for it. She's positive, she's energetic. She is everything you want in an instructor, and it's not just an instructor. She has been doing this for so long. It's pioneering and setting the stage for women and coaching. Like women's clinic, she's just, who wouldn't want her at the top of the list coming and teaching? I mean, I was there and I was just totally inspired by everything she did. I'm like, Pate, let me follow you, because she was just amazing, and she's so confident and strong and the most humble person ever when she's teaching. And it just makes my heart all warm and fuzzy to be up here, being able to say, come on up to the wall, because it's so well deserved. You're a true ambassador to Sugarbush for everything that you've done for the community. You are just a staple in this town, and it's just lovely to see everyone here supporting you, and I love skiing with you, and I can't wait to do it again. And her son Hobie came in from Oregon. He's been busy coming in the last couple of years. Congratulations, because you're so inspiring to me as a skier, and you're inspiring to all the coaches, the skiers, the guests, and the hosts, and everyone here at Sugarbush. So congratulations, it's so well deserved.
Pate started at Sugarbush during the 1979-1980 winter season under then ski school director Siggy Grottenhofer. A student and later teacher at the Central Skiing Movement, she went on to achieve Level 3 PSIA National Alpine Certification Standards. Over the years, Pate has helped welcome numerous skiers into the sport, including kids, adults, women's clinics, school programs, and corporate groups. Congratulations to 2025 Wall of Fame inductee, Pate Weston.
Ski school room from 79 to 91. Pate and I, along with Marianne and Raymond, were ski besties. We're still ski besties. But I left Sugarbush for GMBS, spending another 10 years on the hill. We grew up, so to speak, both on and off the slopes. I cannot be prouder of her longevity and accomplishments at Sugarbush. We were lucky enough to have enjoyed the good old days at the Bush. Siggy and Vermont, dancing away the night at the Tooth and Gallagher's, the disco at Chez Henri, George Macaulay's annual dinner at Sam Rupert's, the Boa Party. Someone there must remember those. I don't know if anyone here remembers that.
Oh yeah.
There was an amazing bond that we all shared, and still share to this day. It's people like Pate, who are the heart and soul of Sugarbush. Thank you for honoring her, and Pate, if you read this, way to go.
Got to get in there. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm truly honored to join the other members of this Wall of Fame at this resort that has in my life meant so much to me. It's, I realize, given me a purpose in my life to teach and help others become better at skiing and live this lifestyle. We are so lucky here to have our little community and our beautiful mountain. And as the mountain stays the same, things change around us, the mountain never changes. It goes up, it goes down, it goes round and round like life. And so many of you have been here to encourage and support me along the way, right from the beginning. I started at Mad River Glen back in, first time I went there was a senior in high school. My Aunt Marie took me there. Yeah, I'm from Jersey. We say Aunt. She had such a passion for skiing. We went to a little place called Snow Bowl. I had this hand-me-down wooden and leather equipment. Just best thing ever happened to me. And the whole way home, I remember driving on some windy road through New Jersey, our little mountains, our little hills. My aunt was very cool. She had gone to Germany and she bought a Karmann Ghia over there, had it shipped back on a boat, little two-door ski rack on the back. And as we wound through those little roads, I was in my big snowplow the whole way, making turns. And I guess I found my passion. And yeah, through high school, that was just before high school. Through high school, I skied a little, worked at a Herman's World of Sporting Goods. I got to sell skis, not just jackets. And then my Aunt Marie brought me to southern Vermont, moved our way up, and as a senior in high school, I went to Mad River Glen. That was a life changer. I took a ski week with a really cute ski instructor. I think I might have been recruited. I knew I wanted to take a gap year before committing to being a school teacher because I just could not picture myself being in a classroom every day. I had spent my childhood being outdoors as much as possible. And so after a summer on Martha's Vineyard, my good buddy from high school and we moved to Vermont. We got a job with Alice and Les Billings at the Mad River Barn. My dad drove us up and he dropped us off that night. It was dark, it was cold, Alice wouldn't let him stay. He turned around and drove back to New Jersey and there we were, no phones, no TV, no computers, just a little dark, kind of cold room. And we were a little wondering about our decision, but the rest turned out to be a blast. And I thought I was just coming to learn how to ski, but I guess I learned how to live. Yeah, my parents weren't thrilled about that gap year turning into 45 plus years, but they grew to love Vermont and everyone here, even though they didn't ski. And I just was so fortunate. Went from Mad River, came over to Sugarbush, because snowmaking was coming. And then there was the big tube race and the waiter slalom on snow, and Mobile Mouse Land, and do the sugar boogie, disco dancing in your ski boots, March Madness, and centered skiing. We had that offered to us right after the hiring plan from Siggy, and it was definitely the best thing I ever did for my life and my skiing, and shaped the rest of my skiing future. I got to bring it full circle when I got to teach it with my mentors, who also motivated me to do PSIA. I got to do boot testing, ski testing. I don't know. I looked over a bunch of photos recently, and just looking at the titles of some of the ones that never made it into an album. It was the Boot Test Tequila Party. And then it was the Ski School Locker Room Party, Ski School Awards Party, Bluetooth Stowe Sugarbush Race Party. That was the 80s. Yeah. The 90s brought me that guy, right over there. The greatest joy of my life to teach my own boy how to ski. And through it all, really, you go from just so many mentors, and then suddenly being a mentor to others. I'm teaching that, and now I'm learning from the young ones, carrying on, staying within the community as I can. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. I have a lot of stories. I'm going to skip the stories. I just want to say, actually today I heard the news about Lindsey Vonn. So I want to give a shout out to her. Courageous woman. I thought she was crazy to go after it again at her age, and she just broke records. I'm not breaking any records, except I'm just thankful for all of you to be here. And all the families and wonderful people that I've gotten to know over the years that have, given me a home here. And also a toast, if everyone wants to raise another glass, to a toast to our buddies that we have lost through the years, many mentors, many loved ones, and a toast to those that are in Powder Paradise.
John, that's skiing history. That's Sugarbush history.
That is Sugarbush history. There's a lot of it in this room, right over there. And obviously, MA also went into the Wall of Fame. And there's a lot of great ski school legends now sitting in the Wall of Fame. Michael Ware is our final inductee this evening. And I know that Michael has several speakers, so I do not want to sully the introduction with anything we could say. I'd rather get to the good stories. We will roll the tape, and we will welcome Mr. Michael Ware up to the stage.
He was there, now he's gone.
Good. Also with a blazer.
Mike moved to the Mad River Valley from England in 1961, working at Orsini's restaurant for the next several years before eventually purchasing the restaurant and renaming it The Common Man. The new restaurant was an immediate success and hosted countless guests, employed innumerable ski bumps, held special events and community benefits, and remained a Valley mainstay through his selling of it in 2004. Mike was also heavily involved with the Sugarbush Racing Club, which remains in operation to this day. Congratulations to 2025 Wall of Fame inductee, Michael Ware.
I should have taken some message from you how to speak, because I don't do this kind of stuff. I have some paper written down. You didn't. Well, I just broke a pair of glasses, but I had a spare. First of all, thank you, Sugarbush, for this honor.
Oh, it's next year.
Thank you very much to Sugarbush. It's a huge honor, and I really appreciate it. I'm still going to use these notes. I'm not going to. My wife is an attorney, and she told me how to do this kind of thing. So I'll do my best. Anyway, as John said, I arrived in Manhattan from the UK in 1960, actually, 65 years ago. Still here. My plan originally was to hitchhike across America and go to Australia, but I'm sorry, I'm stuck in Vermont. I came here on a visitor's visa, but within a few weeks I found myself working at Orsini's restaurant as a waiter. At Orsini's at Sugarbush, which many of you may remember. And that was the start of 45 years in the hospitality industry. Later that year, I was picked up by the United States Border Patrol. I was working illegally, and I had my visa had run out. Things were very different then than they are today, and with just in a few weeks, I had a green card, and a couple of years later, I became a U.S. citizen. In 1971, and this writing is terrible this morning. The very talented Swiss chef Christy Eden and I became partners, and we purchased the restaurant from Orsini, and a year later we reopened it as the Common Man Restaurant, 1972. Where we proclaimed it was like dining in Europe. Good. It stuck around for a long time, and it still gets played around. I feel that dining room service staff can make or break a dining experience. And I was very fortunate enough to build a very loyal and hard-working group of professional and friendly staff, many of whom stayed with me for very many years. The kitchen is not the back of the house versus the front of the house. The kitchen is the heart of the house in a restaurant. And as any restaurateur knows, that one of the hardest positions to fill in the heart of the house is the position of dishwasher. So a little story. In the very early years of the 60s, when I was still working for Vermont Orsini's, we had two guys, Harry and Ethan, who drove over every weekend, no matter the weather, from Randolph. We paid them $1 an hour. That's all right, the second page is much shorter. I can still read it. But what did I say here? Hang on. I got it. But the reasons that the restaurant was so successful for 32 years was not just the great team that we had. It's because of the loyalty of so many of you and the patrons from all over Vermont and the seasonal guests. And I want to thank Keith and Adam for continuing the restaurant for another 14 years. It may be that my photograph on the wall downstairs represents all of those people that have worked with me over the years to make the common man stand up. That's it. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Guy Ludwig, class of, 2020 on the wall. Fraudulent election, by the way. And I'm here to tell you that Michael Ware is as important to the history of Sugarbush as snow. His Common Man restaurant, as distinctive as Jack Murphy's 3-passenger Italian gondola, or Sarah Gadd's one-of-a-kind Wunderbar. His wine list as deep as Castle Rock's Rumble, his building as iconic as the Valley House. For decades, people lined up at the door of that barn on German Flats Road with smiles of anticipation, and they left with sighs of satisfaction. Like our two other nominees, Michael embodies the spirit of hospitality wedded to the strength of commitment. All three of these new Wall of Famers could simultaneously welcome and guide. Ms. Pate Weston does not demand of her pupils. She encourages while reminding everyone it's going to be fun. Mr. Mr. John Parsons was clearly in charge in uniform in the lift line, but he also took time to tell us as we passed through the gate that the snow looks mighty good on twist. Likewise, Mr. Ware could be confronted with frozen pipes, popping fuses, challenging guests, and brutal weather. But to us, his customers, his people, he never appeared to break a sweat. The result? His place became integral to the Sugarbush experience. The good life, as band leader Skitch Henderson, who was also a local, came to call it. An intermediate skier who one Saturday afternoon in January celebrated her successful negotiation of Stein's Run for the first time, celebrated again that evening with a schneeballen from the common man. People from Manhattan Island to Manhattan Beach save their anniversaries, their birthdays, for gatherings of the common man. And their bottles of Dom Perignon champagne were forever memorialized on a ledge around the side of the barn wall. It's hard to imagine, really, in our present digital age, how important the common man was to a Sugarbush visit. People would call me in the mid-1980s and ask all the usual ski weekend questions. Can Junior get into the ski school? How much fresh snow over the last 24 hours? Where can I get my Rossi's tune? But then, critically, very critically, can we get a table at the Common Man? All of us here tonight are aware of legacy. That's what the Wall of Fame symbolizes. And we also know that legacy is a matter of standing on other people's shoulders. We all need help in this world, and some of us are lucky to get it. Mr. Ware had help. Restaurateurs and entrepreneurs before him, like Armando Orsini, who's been mentioned, they laid a foundation. And later those like Gusti Eichen, with whom Mike stood shoulder to shoulder for years of fruitful collaboration. And how about the employees, the hundreds of employees who washed dishes, swept rugs? Those are the folks, many of you are here, who smiled when they wanted to cry, and then sat with their colleagues at the end of the night basking in a job well done. These folks all played an awesome role in this story. But what's singular about Michael Ware is that he stuck through triumph and tears, year after year, decade after decade, a compelling symbol of the Sugarbush brand, of you can't find it anywhere but here style that you can only find in the Mad River Valley. Aspen, that's worth applause. Aspen had its sun deck, but no common man. You could ski above the tree line at Sugarbush. But what about after the lifts closed? Long before Win Smith reminded us we could be better here, Mr. Ware was working that angle through the common man. As a full-time part-timer here in Warren since 1982, I have quite a few memories of Michael, but two stand out. We're wrapping up, don't worry. The first involves my buddy Jeff Block, our rented Volvo sedan, and that curve on German Flats Road right by the Sugar Run driveway. It was afternoon, a light snow had fallen, and we were zooming. Michael, I need your help. We were zooming toward Sugarbush North, now called Mount Edward. I turned the steering wheel left. The car went straight. It launched over an embankment of snow and came to rest undamaged, but with the rear of the vehicle aimed toward the sky. So we climbed out unhurt, sat on the trunk, with rear wheels dangling in front of us, waiting for someone to come down the road to help us. Guess who arrived? Why, it was our new pal Mike Ware, who kindly pulled over, slowly and deliberately got out of his car, carefully assessed the situation, and then said, "You turkeys!" He called us a tow truck. My other memory bear with me here, folks. It's very different and much more enlightening. As many of you know, the original Orsini barn burned down to the ground in 1987. Michael was then faced with the enormous, daunting task of rebuilding, which he did. And of course, he had help far and wide throughout the valley and beyond. But as winter turned to spring, and spring-summer, I noticed an interesting thing. When the construction crew went home for the weekend, there was Michael, alone, lifting rocks and placing them just so for the steps to what would become the front door. There was Michael, alone, lifting supplies from his small pickup truck and carrying them into the half-completed structure.
Okay, that's enough.
There was Michael planting shrubs, raking down the parking lot so no one would puncture a tire. This was and is a person not afraid to work. Losing his restaurant and then rebuilding is obviously a monumental job, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Mrs. Ware, his beloved Sheila, at this point. Particularly in the rebuilding stage. Wait, there's an applause now. Stand by. Wait, now I'll give you a cue, just like TV. Here we go. There she was, solving problems, soothing nerves, and always, always, always supporting Michael. She was steady and solid, then, now, and always. Here it comes. Way to go, Sheila! Give it up! Okay. Everybody wants to get to the bar. President Calvin Coolidge, who grew up just down the road here in Vermont, defined success as 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Well, it seems to me that's Michael's story. Whether he was bussing tables for Armando or welcoming Robert De Niro for dinner, he put his best foot forward for his employers, his business, for Sugarbush, for this wonderful world of downhilling that we all love, and for all of us, his clients, his customers, his people. In so doing, he achieved what Noel Coward attributed to another famous person in a toast at Monte Carlo. You may raise your glasses. I didn't bring one, but I'll repeat it. To you, Mr. Ware, never a breach of taste. Never a wrong move. Bravo and congratulations.
The first time I saw Mike Ware was at the Common Man. Probably I was in my 20s. Michael was wearing a skirt. I would learn it was a kilt. Michael, you have worn so many skirts, pants, and hats in this valley. I'd like to address a couple as your former ski buddy and your friend. A rather new word for me, at least in usage, is the word steward. You, Michael Ware, are the personification of a steward of this mountain. One short example. Each spring, Mike would organize a picnic on the deck of Allen's Lodge. You organized it for friends and anyone who appeared for so many years, and it featured a bounty of food, wine, and fun. You showed us that when you pack it in, you pack it out. You always packed in so much fun, being in riding the chair or skiing down trails and into the woods. How many years were you seen racing with a race club, not to mention the waiter slalom of years past?
I was always just happy to see you at Sugarbush events and witness the people who sought you out to reminisce. You have given so much time and energy, be it to this resort, caring for the river, or schlepping produce from your garden, or what you glean, and showing up with your arms full at the Evergreen Senior Center and the Community Food Bank. Your truck has gotten you to the parking lots of Club 10 and Sugarbush through the years and traveled unknown miles helping others, be it to doctor's appointments as far away as Dartmouth, as you're the one volunteer who likes big trips for free wheeling. The bed of that truck is often filled with roadside finds rather than going to the dump. You go to Waterbury's resource for Habitat for Humanity with what you find along the way. Just last year, while most of us were out picking up litter along the roads on Green Up Day, I spotted you with your truck, your wheelbarrow, a rake, and a shovel at the information center, all alone working away. Who does these things? Thank you, Mike, for being that rare person, a fun ski buddy, a wonderful friend, and an amazing steward for this beautiful valley.
One more time for Michael Ware. Since we have resolved our AV issues, we only thought it would be appropriate to play John Parsons' video with the sound, and then we'd like to bring up Brian Farley for a quick announcement, and then we're going to read the meeting's letter and let the music commence. Roll tape. Roll tape. Oh, you know what? Joke's on us. We got Farley.
Hey, thanks. Hey, just want to say thanks for everybody coming out tonight, and congratulations to all the inductees. It's a little bit out of turn or whatever, but I just want to let everybody know that we're going to do a benefit for Siobhan and JP at the Man River Barn this coming Thursday, the 18th, starting at 5. Just a normal dinner. Please come if you want. Order whatever you'd like. We're going to have some prizes to raffle off. And all the proceeds are going to go to Siobhan, because she needs some help. And we'll appreciate the time. So thanks to Sugarbush for letting me talk. So thank you all very much. If you want to take more time, have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the music.
John Parsons, nicknamed JP by colleagues and guests alike, joined Sugarbush in 2003 as a member of the lift operations team. Over the years, he worked at both lifts and at the Sugarbush Resort Golf Club, going on to act as both golf shop manager and lift ops manager. JP became a familiar face across Sugarbush's 4 seasons, both on the hill and at the course, and remained an integral part of the guest experience during his tenure at the resort. Congratulations to 2025 Wall of Fame inductee, John Parsons.
It sounds so much better with sound. So Wayne Smith wrote a letter, and I will read it fast because I know I'm taking a lot of time, but it's just amazing because everyone, all these inductees, there's just so much to say, so many stories. So Wayne is very sorry not to be here this evening to celebrate tonight's inductee to our Wall of Fame. All who have contributed so much to what has distinguished Sugarbush over the years. I feel so privileged to have visited JP the day before he passed and to have been able to let him know in person that he would be inducted this year. I will always remember his look of surprise, a tear of gratitude, and then his wonderful smile. Sugarbush meant so much to JP, and JP meant so much to Sugarbush. Whether it was greeting us at one of the lifts in the winter or playing golf at the Sugarbush Golf Club, JP was a presence who was loved by so many. Pate Weston is another member of Sugarbush's legendary ski and ride who has taught so many young and old to enjoy skiing. It is so telling how many members of the Sugarbush community endorsed her nomination to the Wall of Fame. While I'll personally forget how long exactly Pate has been here at Sugarbush, I don't remember a Sugarbush without Pate. From its early years, Sugarbush was known not only for its skiing, but its lively après and fun and fine dining. A couple of years ago, we welcomed Henri Borel to the Wall of Fame, and now Michael Ware to join them. Both of those restaurants have been such an important part of our history. I remember so many delicious dinners and fun evenings at the Common Man, and yes, a couple of his legendary New Year's Eve parties, which I wish that I was at, dancing on the rafters, drinking Dom Perignon. That's me saying that part. Henri will always be remembered for his photo taking, and Michael for his debonair personality, distinguished mustache, and his authentic Scottish kit. Congratulations to all three who have such a positive influence on Sugarbush and the Mad River Valley, and that's from Lynn. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. One last round of applause for all three of our ladies. Thank you all so much for attending, for celebrating. Thank you to the patience of Talking Dreads and team as we ran a little over. Please stick around, have some fun, chat with each other, enjoy the music, and nominations for next year's class will open up soon on our website. Minus some AV. Thank you. Before I lose Siobhan, we'll get a photo of everyone.
As they say in skiing, you furthered the scope this evening.
That's all we can ask for. Thank you.
Nice job.